Hey, it's me. So it's been a while since I posted a new video. Sorry about that. This is my 2-page spread. I'm gonna do something, I don't know, maybe something a little different. But if you hear me yelling at my cat, it's because he's being an asshole. But you know, what else is new? Cats are assholes just in general, aren't they? So I've got some Deco Art paint, Americana brand, and it is in True Blue. So we're gonna try, you know, usually I have a little paint tray, though I'm not really sure where it is, so whatever. I'm just gonna put some paint colors down, not really thinking too hard on what shape or anything. Just putting some colors down. You know, sort of free, with no real plan to it. And there we go. I hadn't posted, usually I post like Mondays or Tuesdays, you know, but I hadn't posted this week, early in the week, only because I went to Jersey for a couple days just to visit friends and family and such, you know. All right, I'm gonna go next. Color is Liquitex Basics in dioxazine purple, if you can see. So I'm gonna do this. And same thing, just kind of like not really thinking too hard on it. So yeah, I went to Jersey to visit some family and friends and stuff like that, which was nice. It's always fun to catch up with friends and family and things like that, you know. But I've learned lately that it's okay to make yourself a priority. It's okay if making yourself a priority means saying no to people. Sorry about that. Camera fell. To me, it's okay if you have to say no to people. And you don't have to feel guilty for that at all. It isn't your job to be living up to other people's responsibilities. It's not your job to fulfill someone else's responsibility at all. If somebody else tries to push their responsibility onto you, it's your job to remind them that that's not your job at all. And whoever makes you feel like shit for that is just being an asshole. And you don't have to feel guilty about that. So that's one thing I have learned. Sorry, I had to fix my camera here. So you don't have to feel guilty about that at all. And anybody who makes you feel like shit for that, you know, is toxic. So that's one thing I did learn while I was in New Jersey. I learned that it's okay to put myself as a priority, and I don't have to feel guilty about that. I think a lot of times when you're a giving person, people know this about you. They know you're very giving. They know you're very generous. And, you know, they kind of manipulate you because of that. And I just think that it's okay to spot that and say no. I think a lot of times I would feel bad and stuff like that, but I don't feel bad anymore because I'm gonna do for people that do for me in return, that give back to me. I'm not gonna give to you what you don't give to me. You understand what I mean? I'm not gonna do that anymore because it's just not, it's not worth it. You know, there should be a giving and a receiving in any relationship. And if there's not, then there's problems there. So I've got this spread here. See if I can show you a little bit better. There we go. And this is what I've got so far. I've got the gold, the blue and the purple. It's a really dark purple. So I'm gonna wanna go over it maybe with a different color. Maybe with a pink to kind of like lighten things, or a light blue maybe. I think I'm gonna go over it with a light blue. I've got this turquoise blue. It's supposed to be turquoise. It's more of a light blue that I got from Pat Catan's. And I'm just kind of gonna do that. And on one side, I'm gonna do this. And actually, I think I'm gonna do this. Very cool. All right. So now, as usual, we wait for this to dry, and then we can do a little more on here. Okay, so I'm back, and this is pretty dry, I suppose. I just honestly don't feel like waiting much longer. To be completely honest. So I've got this, and now the question is, what color am I going to use next? So I decided, while I make up my mind, I'm going to get a stencil, my handy stencil that I love so much. You guys have seen me use this stencil in a lot of my other videos. It's just my favorite. And the same color that I usually use, which is violet. I'm using the DecoArt Media Mister, and also the stencil, which is also made by DecoArt. I'm going to take this stencil and I'm gonna go like this. And that just kind of like cleans it a little bit. Sometimes it transfers color, but not always, I guess, in this case. Now, we'll wait for that to dry a little bit, and then I might use another stencil again. So we'll see. But yeah, gotta wait for this to dry a little bit more, and then I can throw down some more colors. Okay, so since I'm impatient, I took a paper towel and I just kind of patted it down a little bit on the inky spots, because that's how I roll. I'm gonna try something a little bit different. So I've got a stencil. This stencil is, I can't remember who makes it, but at any rate, this is the stencil. And yeah, I can't remember who makes this, but it's one of my favorites. So I'm going to take it right here. I've got some, sorry about that. I've got some pink paint here. I got this at Pat Catan's, as usual, with most of my paints. Here we go. Ozzy, what are you doing? My cat Ozzy is just being a little bit silly. And hopefully this works. Hopefully this works out. If not, you know, whatever, I can always paint over it. That's a great thing about abstract art, is that it is pretty forgiving. I used to love using a lot of like the spray misters, you know, and I still do, except that I find that the misters tend to clog quite a bit, and it just gets annoying after a while to deal with like the clogged mister sprayers and all that. So hopefully this works and it looks interesting, which it sort of did. It looks a little weird, but it also looks a little okay. So I'm going to add some more right there. And there. And let's see how that looks. So yeah, one thing I was saying was that you don't have to feel guilty for, you know, when you're the person that helps everybody or that everybody goes to when they have a problem, you know, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, I can't help you. It's okay to put yourself first. That's what I've learned. I think adulthood is really just about Sorry, that. I had to stop the camera because I had to yell at my cat because he was being a piece of shit. Well, he was. He was being an asshole. Don't even try that with me. Yeah, that's very nice. You're still not getting any more food. I literally fed you twice. I'm sorry that you have a problem with your appetite, but that's not my problem. I think a lot of times for me anyway, putting myself first is like, I don't usually do that. You know, you put yourself first as far as, you know, it's like you feel guilty for making your needs a priority. But the problem is that when you don't do that, you pay the price later on, and it all ends up kind of coming down on you. Like, it all ends up coming in getting in your face in one way or another. You know, it all ends up coming back to sort of haunt you in one way or another, and you pay the price. So to me, I'm okay with the fact that the stenciled images aren't exactly perfect. I'm okay with that because this is not the last part of this, you know, painting that I'm working on. Just to clarify that. So yeah, you know, you have to make yourself a priority in your own life, you know, and not just make the needs of others your priority. Because if you continue to ignore yourself and ignore your own needs, you know, it's all gonna come back And one day you're going to realize you haven't been paying attention to yourself, and, you know, you're going to burn out. So cleaning off the stencil on this page here. I like doing that because then when you go to make art on the page, you've already got an interesting background. Oh, cool. Isn't that neat how that looks? I like that. What a cool idea. Huh. I really like that. Anyway, so this is what we've got so far. And now it's time to kind of stare at it and decide what I'm going to do next, which I'm not sure. Maybe I'll take some of this. And I want this to dry for what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna add some spots and things and do the whole schmoosh of my pages. So for that, I gotta let this dry and come back. All right, so the paint is dry. Now I've got to figure out what I'm going to do next to this. I'm thinking I want some green. So I have this pretty green color. Americana makes it. It's avocado dip. So, whatever shall we do? Maybe I'll do some little polka dots. Maybe they'll work a little bit better with my fingertips. I think so. I like it right on the very tip of my finger. And let's see. So my thoughts, you know, these days are really just, I feel like a lot of times when you're a really kind of emotional person and maybe a person who's very giving and loving, you know, and generous, both, you know, monetarily and, you know, generous with your time, you're going to attract, you know, people who will maybe want to take advantage of that. And a lot of times you don't see it, you know, maybe you're an introverted person like I am. Maybe you just don't always trust people as easily, and this person seems to identify with, you know, the kind of person that you are, or identifies with how you live your life, maybe has a few things in common with you. And I think that sometimes we just, then at the end, when you do see it, and when you're like, holy shit, you know, this person, you know, was you know, just using me, you know, sometimes you start thinking, well, how could I have been so stupid? Like, you know, how could I have been that stupid to think that this person genuinely gave a shit about me? But I say don't blame yourself, and I'm saying this to myself also. I say don't blame yourself. You know why? Because it's not a bad thing to be loving and giving and generous. And I feel like the universe or God or whatever you want to call it, I feel like there's always payback for people in one way or another. You're somehow going to reap the repercussions of your generosity, and they will reap the repercussions of using you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to smush it. I have no other way to call that. It's just smushing. For me, I don't regret being generous with people, even if they did use me, even if they were had ill intentions, because for me, I always have what I need. I always have everything that I need, and I've never had to really, you know, of course I stress out over, you know, money and things like that, but somehow by a miracle or whatever, my needs are always met. And so why bother stressing? So I'm okay with it, you know. I don't feel any regret. I do sometimes, I'll be honest. Let's be honest. But in general, I'm pretty okay. So I like the way this looks. I want to add some more marks to it. I gotta see what I have. Okay. So I've got the top of this bottle, and I've got some red paint. Let's see if I could do it this way. And I'm gonna dip this in there and make a print. And do it again. You can use a toilet roll, the inside of a toilet paper thingamajig. You know, that works pretty well. This is just what I literally had on hand. So rather than add more, I'm going to do this again. And see how it looks. Yay! Ta-da! Looks pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna wipe the rest of this on here. Wipe the rest of this paint there. There. And do this. Sorry, I've been having technical difficulties with my camera today. But yeah, so there we go. And that's what that looks like right now. Pretty cool. But that page is not, this is just, you know, obviously for another time. This is just me wiping the rest of the paint off. I don't like to waste anything. The kitchen and the art studio are two places where you should never waste, you know? So I try not to ever waste anything. I try to use everything that I have, you know, use up all the paint and everything, because you don't want to be wasteful. When you implement that philosophy, you'll see, you will be able to see how far, you know, you can go. So I'll show you now what it looks like. That's what I got so far. I'm not sure if I'm done or not. I'm sorry, my finger gets in the way. I'm not sure if I'm done or not, I'll be honest. I think I'm going to get a pencil or some pastels and maybe go over it. But again, gotta wait for the paint to dry. Okay, the only pastels that I have on hand are this this pack of really old water-soluble oil pastels. You can use them as, you know, watercolors if you want to, but I'm not going to do that today. So this is what I've got. I'm going to use, I think this is violet. And I'm going to hold it in my non-dominant hand. I'm a lefty, so I'm going to use my right hand. And I'm going to just... there. So I did that, and what else can I do? I like using my non-dominant hand for things like this, because it gives it the kind, I am able to achieve more of a messy, unplanned look on this page, which is, you know, really what I'm trying to achieve. I'm gonna take this same stencil now, and again, if I fuck up, it's whatever, it doesn't matter, really. Oh, I didn't. Oh, it looks cool. Yeah, how about that? All right, and then I'm gonna go over on the other side. Very cool. There. Now I'm gonna take this and there. That looks interesting so far. I think here is when I might stop, but actually, you know what? I want to do something else. I've got to find some black paint. Yeah, I think I need black paint or some black gesso. And I'm just gonna do this because why not? I'm gonna add some little black polka dots here and there. Not too many, but I'm a big fan of these polka dots right now. Not sure why. Again, I don't know, but they make me feel good looking at them. So that's what I'm doing. Okay. Now, I'm going to take some pink add a little pink here, brighten it up. Okay, now I'm gonna smush again, because that's what's fun about making art, is making messes and seeing what happens. That's what I love about abstract art, is just fucking around on a page and then seeing what happens. It's more fun when you do experiments like this on, you know, in your art journal, because you're not really wasting canvas or anything like that. you know, so it's more fun. Okay, so this is basically done. I'm gonna call this page done. I really like it. I hope you liked it as well. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for coming back. And yeah, I will have pictures and everything up on my website, thecraftaholic.com. Yeah, thanks a lot. Bye.